Wow. Wow. I cannot believe that presentation took 35 minutes. That seems like a handful of tweets. But, it's been a while since I've made a video, and clearly, can't break my childhood habits of Pokemon. Got a few Pokeballs behind me. But let's talk about the Pokemon Presents. Is it just me, or companies having more and more of these directs and presents, and they're just being nothing burgers? Like, if we just had E3, we could do this all at once and be done and not really worry about the news and just be a bunch of tweets and articles and instead of all these YouTube videos. Like, is it just me? I think there's like so many of them now. And I don't really see the point of having all of these because this presents was way too long for the information that was given. It was a lot of filler, and yeah, I learned all I need to know through, I keep saying tweets, but it's X now, and I don't know what to call them anymore. Zeets? Zeets? Are we zeeting? Anyway, so let's start off with my first issue, and it's just such a dumb issue, but in the United States, we have been dubbing Japanese voices for decades, and why can't the Pokemon Company do it? It's so ridiculous. It's no offense to the gentleman that was speaking, and I get that you want your top guy giving out the presentation, but come on. You're the Pokemon Company. You can't spend an extra money for better dubbing, better, just having one of your U.S. officials do it for the English-speaking world, and have your Japanese officials do it for the Japanese-speaking world. Can't just do that. But I digress. I will say I do want his Mew shirt. That is a sweet Mew shirt that if I still wore college shirts, I would want to be wearing that around. So let's get into the actual details of the presentation. So the first thing that they went over was the World Championships of the card game. And that's cool. It's cool. It always looks like fun. And I wish that I had played more. I was playing a lot before the pandemic, and I just fell off. I've always been saying I want to make a new deck. I gave away my old deck, which was a killer one. I was beating all the little kids that I used to teach, like destroying them, and I just haven't got my around to doing it. And one of the biggest problems is there's so many different card sets now, and trying to collect each one. It's sad because back in my day, back in the ancient times, you really only had so many cards and they were easy to collect. And quite frankly, if I almost collected all of them again. So, but it's cool. It should be fun for those who participate. That's awesome. They also threw out like they're going to have an elite cruise that you can battle people on. If it's not called the St. Anne, they're missing their mark on that. But it's just an update. So, yeah, that's really cool of them. The next thing they presented was the first of their animated series, which is based upon the trading card game. It appears that a girl is coming into town, going to a new school, and bonds and befriends or has enemies based upon playing the game in school, kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was back in the day, the original series. So it'll be interesting to see. Found that is a new Detective Pikachu game, and it seems like it's just the same story from the movie. And didn't Ryan Reynolds figure that one out? Wasn't he actually Pikachu? Wasn't he Pikachu the dad? I'd like to see where this game is going. Depending on the price, I may pick it up or not. We will see. Now, Detective Pikachu is the second anime series, Pokemon Horizons. Of course, it's in the Paldea, section. And I think this is the follow-up to the anime we all know with Ash Ketchum. It does look like it has better art. It kind of looks more like the art of the Pokemon, I think it's Origins, or wherever they had Red as the main character, and there was only 6 episodes. It actually looks a lot better art than what was presented before, but it just seems like it's a continuation of that. So I'm sure younger Pokemon fans will enjoy it. Following that is the mobile games, and starting off with Pokemon Go, and just Pokemon Go Fest. It's happening pretty much right now. And they're just given the dates of each city and also the evolutions, like you get Mega Rayquaza. And I'm not sure how many people still play this. I assume that it's profitable from Niantic and Pokemon. I really don't play it that much anymore. Just only checking in on the gym that's literally right next door to me. I refuse to let that, fall into any other team's hands other than I need coins to buy things. I don't really play it as much as I used to, neither do my friends and family. So it's interesting to see who actually plays these mobile games. The next mobile game is Pokemon Unite. And, I've always said I wanted to try this. It's a battling game. I always enjoy actually battling, but I just haven't gotten into it. And watching this presents, I always forget just how many mobile games there are. And this one looks cool, and of course, they're adding Mewtwo. It's always big when you add Mewtwo. And, just having flying around, I think Mewtwo should be like OP, like overpowered. And, just having it, if you don't have any other, legendary Pokemons, have Mew in there, it shouldn't work out. Back on the link cable, if you had Mewtwo, you pretty much dominated. So, following that is Pokemon Masters, and I've never played this game, but of course they're adding something from Scarlet and Violet, a character from Scarlet and Violet, which if you play it, I hope you enjoy it. Tell me about it if you actually play, if it's an actual good game, but hey. Next one is Pokemon Cafe, which I have actually played. It's a nice little cozy game where you made coffee orders for various Pokemon. They're now adding, new Pokemon to it, and I forget the name. I know I should have looked it up beforehand, but it's that little fish Pokemon, and they're joking like, "Oh, we're adding sushi," and cool, whatever. It's just, I just didn't get into the other games. So I personally have no skin in the game. But tell me, are you an active Pokemon Cafe player? Are you an active Masters player, Go player, Unite player? I really do want to know. Hit that up in the comments. But is Nintendo online? And we have two Pokemon games going. And the first is the trading card game from the original Game Boy. I never really played it on the original Game Boy. I didn't see the point if I had the trading cards, but it seems like a lot of people are excited about this. A lot of people have fond memories. And, I saw the Spawn Wave before making this, the Spawn Wave, and he had a good point. If you want to learn how to play the card game, the rules have become a lot more complicated, but this will give you the basics. After that, they introduced Pokemon Stadium 2 from the N64. At least I think it's the N64. I didn't have one. Or a GameCube. I had all the handhelds. Anyway, a lot of people excited about that. I'm looking forward to playing that on my Switch. I am disappointed that, you have to pay the Switch prices for it. I really wish that it was something I could just download as a single thing like I did from the eShop for the 3DS. That's a topic for another video. Let's get to the next subject, which is Pokemon Sleep. Yeah, you're getting 3 new Pokemon with 3 different sleep patterns. But, in all honesty, who wants to give the Pokemon Company the self data of your sleep? What's the point? Why? Huh? I know I run an Instagram account where I post about Pokemon cards because it used to be really fun, and I see people doing this, and it's like, why? Just why? Seriously? Why? So, if you're really into it, new Pokemon are coming to that. Next up is the 3rd animated series, and do we really need 3 animated series? Come on. Is this whole video just me asking why? I think so. Like, we just did 30 seconds of why. But third one, where it appears to be teenagers at the school going through their school days. And I believe this one, yes, this one is going to be on YouTube. But this is a lot of what I think is unnecessary content. It's not like someone else is deriving from it. It's still Pokemon Company and their studios. But yeah, 3 students with the 3 starter Pokemon at different evolutions going through school. Check it out on YouTube if you're interested. And you really should check out the whole, presentation if you want more information on this. I'm quickly going through it because I'm trying to get to the final thing, which is the DLCs. Yeah, I sigh when I say the DLCs. I was burned so badly by Sword and Shield that I just look at this and I don't see the value. And there's 2 parts. The first part, you're traveling to another area and you're participating in the festival and you get to see 3 new legendary Pokemon. And it looks like the one they battled looks like the same legendaries from Sword and Shield. Just the redesign, and they're bragging about, hey, catch Pokemon that aren't found in the Paldea. Why am I not saying Paldea region? And it's like, you know what? If you had given us a great way to transfer, that really wouldn't matter. That really wouldn't matter. So yes, you get a new legend about how these 3 legendaries saved the area. You get to travel, battle. You're on a class trip to another school. Who wants to go to another school on a class trip? Like, who wants to do that? So, yeah, I don't know about this. And of course, there's the second part where you become a student at that new school, and there's 4 different regions. And you have to battle through their, what used to be the Pokemon League. They're talking about battling their Elite Four, but yeah, I just don't see this as, necessary. Really necessary. If you wanted to create this other school, you probably should have. That should have been the difference in Scarlet and Violet. That really should have been. Like, you go to one school, you go to the other, and more than what the change of the colors and names of the various teachers. It should have been just a very distinct, different school, same game dynamics, and if you really wanted all these Pokemons, Pokemon Company, you could have forced people to buy both editions and had trading going on and Terra raids going on. Did I talk about the Terra? I think I completely. If I didn't, and I'm repeating myself, they're bringing Mewtwo as a Terra raid, and you can get a mystery gift of Mew, and it should be open right now. I think the code is Mew for you. Check that out. But that should have been the different. Like, it shouldn't be a download content. That it should have just been, hey, 2 different schools, 2 different sets of Pokemon, more than what you get from Area Zero, and that should have been the game. I would rather a much better functioning game, better looking game, than these longer stints and downloadable content. That would have been a lot better. That would have been a lot better if they just took more time and focused on the main games. Yeah, I could see it. Like, you have Scarlet as what you have right now, and then you have Violet as, I think it's Blueberry School. Blueberry? It's the BB League, so I think it is Blueberry. But yeah, that would have been. And I just came up that was not on the script. But like I said, I was burned with Sword and Shield, and I'm not sure if I would really want to download this again. I don't see the value. Like, they're saying, oh, you can redesign, the clubhouse room, which I know a lot of people like doing that, but is it worth the money? Oh, change how you throw your Pokeball. Cool. Is that worth the money? I personally don't feel so. I don't. And I'm starting to feel like, as an old school Pokemon master, that these games kind of aren't for me because they're not polished. They're adding game dynamics that, I don't care about. Probably a younger person might care about. So I'm hoping that I have the willpower to skip it. So these are my views on Pokemon Presents. First, let's stop doing all these directs and events and presenting. unless it's something very important. I know I didn't, say this earlier. I should have, but with the Nintendo Online, the fact that we don't have a mainstay old school Pokemon game, that's a little bit upsetting. The idea that downloadable content just really doesn't seem worth it. And, what's the deal with all the mobile apps? I know it's microtransactions. I actually used to pay quite a bit in Pokemon Go, which I want to slap my younger self for. But hey, if you liked, you liked. If you dislike, leave those comments below. Hit subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 by the end of the year. Otherwise, you have made it to the end, and you're an amazing person, and we love you over here. Thanks for watching. Bye.